What up, YouTube? It's your boy coming to you with another Blurred Broadcast video where we review and discuss everything from comic books to animated movies to video games to sci-fi and all of nerd culture. Today, we're going to be talking about this Dungeons and Dragons thing that I ran across on Twitter. I think it's ridiculous, but I could be wrong. Who knows? You know what I mean? Every time I step into anything, I realize like, hey, I could be wrong. Who knows? I have no idea. After reading this, I am very glad that I am not a Dungeons and Dragons player. I am glad that I play other stuff. I'm glad that I play like Crisis Protocol. Hopefully that doesn't get woke or anything like that or get ridiculous. But yeah, Dungeons and Dragons, apparently the website, they made an apology. They made an apology to the fans and the players and whatnot. And we're about to go through this, and then I'm about to try to rationalize how anybody would possibly get offended by this. But before we do that, make sure you like the video, comment on the video, subscribe to the channel, and make sure you go ahead and follow me on Twitch, because I'm over here gaming. I'm just doing it. So I'm over here diving into Saints Row, which is glitchy as hell. You could probably run across the glitch on my IG because I clipped it on Twitch, and then they took it down after 24 hours, of course. So then it's on my IG now, but some of the most ridiculous glitches that you've ever seen in your life. But enough of that. Let's go ahead and get into the video. So apparently on the Dungeons and Dragons website, there is this apology, September 2nd, 2022. I'll just try to read this real quick. I'll read through this, and then I'll try to explain it a little bit, because and try to understand how this works. So it says from Dungeons and Dragons, it says, we wanted to acknowledge and own the inclusion of offensive material within our recent Spelljammers Adventures in Space content. We failed you, our players and our fans. We are truly sorry. The campaign includes a people called Hadazi, which first appeared in 1982, 40 years ago. Regrettably, not all portions of the content relating to the Hadazi were properly vetted before appearing in our most recent release. As we continue to learn and grow through every situation, we recognize that to live our values, we have to do better. Throughout the 50-year history of Dungeons & Dragons, some of the characters in the game have been monstrous and evil, using descriptions that are painfully reminiscent of how real-world groups have been and continue to be denigrated. We understand the urgency of changing how we work to better ensure the more inclusive game. Let's see. Effective immediately, we will remove the offensive content about Hadazi in our digital versions, and these will no longer be included in future reprints of the book. Our priority is to make things right when we make mistakes. In addition, we initiated a thorough internal review of the situation and will take the necessary actions. As a result of that review, we are eternally grateful, and blah blah blah. So apparently the Hadazi are apparently a species, or species. And they are in the game, and apparently there are some things that are connected with them that maybe somebody complained about or something like that, or somebody thought was offensive. And I'm gonna slide over here to Twitter real quick to hit my man Sukami up, because apparently he had the same idea. He said he had no idea what this was about, so he looked it up. So I was in the same boat, so I was like, yeah, let me click on this. So apparently, we're just gonna try to read through this too, and then we're going to try to, like I said, try to get into the mindset of an individual who would get offended by this. So the first Hadazis were timid mammals no bigger than a house cat, hunted by larger natural predators. The Hadazis took to the trees and evolved wing-like flaps that enabled them to glide through from branch to branch, blah, blah, blah. So several hundred years ago, a wizard came to the Hadazis' home world with a small fleet of ships. Under the wizard's direction, apprentices laid magic traps to capture them. The wizards fed the Hadazis an experimental elixir that enlarged them and turned them into sapient bipedal beings. The elixir had side effects of intensifying the Hadazis' panic response, making them more resilient when harmed. The wizard's plan was to create an army of Hadazis warriors for sale to the highest bidder, but instead the wizard's apprentices grew fond of the Hadazis and helped them escape. The apprentices and the Hadazis were forced to kill the wizard, after which they fled, taking with them all remaining vials of the wizard's experimental elixir. Let's see. With the help of their liberators, the Hadazis return to their home world and use the elixir to create more of their kind. In time, all Hadazi newborns came to possess the traits of the ants. Then centuries ago, they took to the stars, leaving the home world, leaving their predators behind. In addition to being natural climbers, Hadazis have feet that are dexterous as their hands, even to the extent of having opposable thumbs. Membranes of skin hang loosely from their arms and legs. When stretched, they are able to glide, and they wrap their wings around themselves to keep warm. So now, if you can see, these fools look a little simian-like, or whatever the case may be. But then they also have like weird wings, like a flying squirrel. So then they have like kind of, like I said, simian feet, whatever the case is. Anyway, so the best, I mean, okay, so here's the thing. I understand. When I first read through this, I was like, oh, okay, well, there are some things that you can incorporate with, like, okay, like there's a wizard that comes through and the dudes kind of look very simian like in the whole nine, and he takes them on ships because he wants to like make like an army or whatever it is or something like that, and sell the army. And then they become, they overthrow the wizard and they kill him and all kind of stuff. It is weird. I mean, it's a story that if you did not incorporate any kind of like racial anything into this story, it's a badass story. It's a bomb story. But if you're an individual who walks around and you're extremely sensitive to this stuff, and you are just turning apples into oranges and making be like, yo, this is offensive because of this and blah, 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 blah. Then I don't know what to tell you. I don't think anybody else can read this. Anybody that's playing Dungeons and Dragons. Now, I don't play Dungeons and Dragons. Like I said, I'm going to be straight up and straightforward. I don't play Dungeons and Dragons. I play certain other things like Crisis Protocol and some other Star Wars games. But I don't understand. That'd be like me being offended about like a Wookiee's home, like a Wookiee story or something like that, just because it might be similar to something. That just because that is similar doesn't mean it's yours. It's like this realm is created so that you can kind of fantasy stuff is created so that you can kind of escape that stuff. And you don't even have to, okay, cool, people in Dungeons and Dragons, they dive into the lore of things. I respect that. But you know what I mean? You don't have to put those two things together. You're just like really, really reaching at this point. Now, like I said, I could be wrong. And if you're a D&D player, by all means, let me know if I'm wrong. Tell me in the comments or something. Because like this one right here completely misses me, man. I don't get it. If somebody can help me get it, please do so. But that's the video. Make sure you like the video, comment on the video, subscribe to the channel, and also make sure you follow me on Twitch because I'm gaming and I'm probably gonna do so right after this. So I appreciate y'all tuning in. I'll catch y'all on the next one. Peace.